Greetings, this is Jeff Chorpenning. It's January 29th, 2014. Cold day in central Ohio winter. I have in front of me the Township Fiscal Officer's record of proceedings from the monthly Board of Trustees meeting dated December 31st, 2013. I received these and saw them for the first time last night at what was supposed to be our Township's first 2014 Board of Trustees monthly meeting. Current President Van Buren was a no-show. Current Vice President Benjamin Hupp was a no-show. So business could not be conducted without a proper quorum. The fiscal officer presented these and other meeting minutes. So I'm going to read these. The video of the December 31st, 2013 meeting is on this YouTube station. As a matter of fact, there's more than one video of that meeting on here. That is the meeting where resident Patricia Voland and Mike Vermillion blocked access to my camera. Luckily, there was a second camera. I did the best I could to audio and video the meeting, including these unethical goings-on of Mrs. Voland and Mr. Vermillion. But this is the subjective version in writing of what happened there. I suggest that you do watch those videos and see if this is how you'd have written the meeting minutes. Held December 31st, 2013, Bowling Green Township Board of Trustees opened this regular meeting at 7 p.m. with roll call. All trustees present and fiscal officer was absent. Visitors: Sally Bryan, Iris Hedges, Tim May, Jack Hedges, Susie Vermillion, Mike Vermillion, Patricia West, Shannon Duvall, Gary Stepp, Barb Saliga, Patty Voland, David Skinner. His correspondence: Trustee Chorpenning attended an annual County Township Association meeting and the engineers' annual meeting and received a card from the Eastern Gateway Planning Review. Under reports: safety: everything is repaired and cinder bins are full. Zoning inspector: Zoning Inspector Barb Selig reported the aerial photos are complete. The lot split on the west property is complete. There were no permits for December. Trustee Chorpenning would like a copy of all aerial photos. Park Committee: Trustee Hupp stated that in the special meeting at 6, the board voted to disband the Park Committee, effective January 1st. The board received a letter from Mark Cottle that he is resigning from the Park Committee. Patty West said there were questions about the craft bazaar and where the money was going. Patty said they gave their money to the person running the bazaar. Trustee Hupp asked who was in charge of the bazaar. Mrs. West did not know who was in charge of it. If the bazaar was for profit, the fee to rent the building should have been $125. From the paperwork, it looks like it might have been rented at no charge. There was $315 collected in rentals in late November and up to December 28th, 5 at $25, 1 at $65, and 1 auction. At the time of meeting, there were no bookings for January. There was also a copy of the October calendar, which Patty Voland requested. Unfinished business. Trash update. The assistant prosecutor was sent 2 letters to CMI, and both were returned. They will try to send one to his house. If he doesn't respond within 28 days, they will proceed with the legal matters. Trustee Chorpenning requested a police report about a situation that occurred in the township on Election Day. The report says Trustee Hupp removed signs off the township sign that belonged to Jeff Baird. The report says the signs were removed per zoning regulations. The signs were too large and because they were on township property without permission. The signs were returned to the owner. Trustee Chorpenning says there is no size stipulation on these type of signs. Zoning Regulation 9.10G. Trustee Hupp said he removed the signs the first time and put them in the community building. Trustee Chorpenning retrieved the signs and returned them to Mr. Baird. Trustee Hupp removed the signs a second time because the township did not give him permission to adhere the signs to township property and they were too large for that type of sign. Trustee Chorpenning said in the past the township has allowed auctions to be advertised. Trustee Hupp said he was covering another event which had already been posted on the sign, which was reminding residents to vote. Zoning inspector said those signs fell under 9.10A in the zoning regulations because it was a sale. Note, I will be commenting several things on these unfinished business section are popping out as basically a false narrative. Under new business, Tim May asked why Trustee Chorpenning hasn't had the water softener installed. Trustee Chorpenning said Trustee Van Buren told him not to install the softener because he wanted to shock the well. He has it on tape. Trustee Van Buren stated he did not tell him not to install the softener. He told him to check with a well company to see if it should be shocked first. Page 2 goes on. Trustee Chorpenning said someone called him and told him someone was shocking the well, so he didn't go forward with the water test. Trustee Van Buren said no one did anything to the water. Trustee Chorpenning said there were 3 at Lowe's, $500, $600, and $700. He would also like to do some more research because it is a public building. Trustee Hupp made a motion to buy the mid-grade softener and have it installed. There was no second to the motion. Trustee Hupp and Van Buren will take care of it. Then under public comment, what the fiscal officer writes is, Dave Skinner would like to hear the recording of Trustee Van Buren's phone call to Trustee Chorpenning about the water softener. Mr. Skinner also thanked Jack, Dan, Don, and Ben for taking care of the snow on the roads. He asked Trustee Chorpenning how many times he has been out plowing snow. Trustee Chorpenning says he has not been out this season because of lack of communication. Trustee Hupp says, when it snows, we plow. Bob West requested copies of the aerial photos that were recently taken. He will pay any fees required. Patty West said there is nothing that says trustees have to plow snow. Trustee Hupp says it saves money for the township if the trustees don't have to pay employees to plow snow. Mike Vermillion and the Friends of Bowling Green Township are starting a neighborhood watch program in the township. Please contact him if you are interested. There will also be a couple of fundraisers in the near future to raise money for decorative signs installed near roadway entering the township. Barb Selig would like the fiscal officer to look up when the board made a resolution that all cameras need to be in the designated area. Mr. Coble would still like the light to be working on the corner parking area. Trustee Hupp made a motion to pay the bills, sign purchase orders and blanket certificates, and the bank statement. Trustee Van Buren seconded the motion. Motion carried. It is lawfully certified in the amount of $8,132.88 is lawfully appropriated to pay the bills by the fiscal officer. The following bills are listed. 4335, Lowe's Companies Incorporated, $111.48. 4336, Englefield Oil Company, $1,139.67. 4337, Napa Auto Parts, $41.31. 4338, Ace Truck Equipment, $115.22. 4339, Jack Hedges, $159.32. 4340, Ohio Public Entity Consortium, $239.40. 4341, Jeffrey D. Chorpenning, $622.89. 4342, Jenny Duvall, $890.70. 4343, Jack Richards Hedges, $513.07. 4344, Benjamin C. Hupp, $622.19. 4345, Daniel Nelson Van Buren, $620.81. 4346, Donald W. Watkins, $469.35. 4347, Ohio Department of Taxation, $567.55. 4348, Y City, $90.70. 4349, Barb Selig, payroll, $283.96. 4350, Barb Selig, mileage and phone, $86.33. The total shown is $8,132.88. And also there are asterisks that she put on 1, 2, 3, 4 of these checks. The asterisk at the bottom of her meeting minutes says checks not signed by Trustee Chorpenning. She's noting here that it was 4339, it was 4343, it was 4346, and it was 4349. My asterisk would tell you that I didn't sign those checks because I did not get to see the timesheets for any of those transactions. Page 3, it says, the organizational meeting will be held on January 8th at 8 a.m. Trustee Chorpenning made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion seconded by Hupp. With business complete, the board adjourned at 8:03 p.m. Now I'll go ahead and make a couple of my own comments about these meeting minutes. This is the first time that I've read them. So some things did pop out. I'd always encourage you to watch the actual meeting video that is verbatim of what happened on December 31st, 2013. A lot more, and in some cases less, than what's in the meeting minutes. Under unfinished business, there is something that pops out to me when it's talking about the police report and the signs. One thing that is wrong that is stated in these meeting minutes, it says the report says the signs were removed per zoning regulations. The report does say that, but the fact of the matter is, as I stated at the meeting, that is not true because zoning regulations for that type of sign do not stipulate any size. What Mr. Hupp had said to the officer in the report is the signs were too large and they were on township property without permission. In fact, the signs were not too large. They were, he also states in here that the signs were covering another event that was on the board, and that is completely false. There was nothing else on the board prior to Mr. Baird installing them at any point. He never covered any existing signage promoting any other event. So that's an error, the way that this is written. Under the new business and the water softener, under that I could make several comments as well, but this is during the meeting where Dan Van Buren decided to jump to name calling because of his perception of the phone conversation we had, and I would just suggest watching that, but it certainly doesn't match up with the way these subjective minutes are written. Other than that, those are the official subjective meeting minutes of December 31st's board meeting presented by the fiscal officer. These meeting minutes are never seen prior to meetings. They're never read at meetings anymore. Eventually they're done, and there is a place here for the elected officials to sign off on them. Eventually they get signed by somebody, and this is how they become the official public record. So that's it on December 31st, 2013 fiscal officers meeting minutes.